All right, we're back. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to be talking with Gunnar Braniecki here in just a moment. He's our expert for all things home security and automation with Guardian Home Protection coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Before we do, we always like to feature some of our listings. We got some hot real estate properties here in beautiful Tampa Bay, featuring our listings in ways that other real estate companies don't, maximizing the exposure and helping you sell faster for more money. 5146 Marine Parkway. We've got a commercial property for sale in Pasco County, and you have a great location. You're about 1,000 feet from US 19 at 5146 Marine Parkway. We've got a commercial building, plenty of parking, and you've got large windows in the front letting in that natural lighting, and the building has been very well maintained. Excellent location, strategically positioned where foot traffic is a constant. You have an open and versatile floor plan, so it can be tailored to suit kind of any business need there. Owner occupies this space as a pool business currently. 5146 Marine Parkway in Newport Richey. Also have new condos that are being built right across the street. So it's an up-and-coming area. Great opportunity to own real estate. 530 Heaton Forest Road. We got a $9 million property that's co-listed. Listing is provided by Bill DeVore, real estate team up in the Carolinas. 530 Heaton Forest Road, Cashiers, North Carolina. By the way, we do properties in all 50 states worldwide through our Keller Williams network. So depending on if you have a family member out of state, we can help you sell that property utilizing our network in whatever area, state, or city that they are in. So keep us in mind for that. Residential, vacant land, commercial, any state throughout the country or beyond. So 530 Heaton Forest Road, Cashiers, North Carolina. We have a luxurious oasis in High Hampton. It's a golf course community, over 20 acres of land, beautiful property. You have 7 spacious bedrooms, 7 lavish bathrooms, complemented by a separate guest house featuring 4 comfortable bedrooms and 3 stylish bathrooms. Unique property, unparalleled privacy and serenity. Indulge in the epitome of luxury living with exquisite finishes and impeccable craftsmanship throughout. 11 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms. 10,000 square feet of living space at 530 Heaton Forest Road, Cashiers, North Carolina. Listing provided by Bill DeVore, real estate team, Keller Williams Luxury, Keller Williams Professionals as well. All right. Another one of our listings is 2817 Gulf City Road. We got some vacant land for sale. Wanted to kind of hit on a commercial property, residential, and we have some vacant land. So 2817 Gulf City Road. This one's 23 acres on the Little Manatee River, Ruskin, Florida, Hillsborough County, motivated seller, and it can be subdivided. So directly on the Gulf of Mexico. Beautiful property, great opportunity. 2817 Gulf City Road, Ruskin, Florida. And you can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
And yeah, I'm raising my glass to those saving our ass overseas.
That's right. Shout out to our friends in the military, veterans, first responders, teachers, nurses, seniors as well. All right, let's go to the phone lines here. Gunnar Braniecki, Guardian Home Protection. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for having me again.
Hey, my pleasure. Absolutely. What have you been up to out there, man? How are things going in the security business?
They're going well. It's funny. You usually ask me if I have any new stories to tell you. I've got one that's actually a little close to home this week for you.
Yeah.
I live in Pennsylvania, outside of Philadelphia, in a very rural area, kind of the farm country. I have 3 acres, but the escaped fugitive was out here, Daniele Cavalcante. He was actually captured last week about 3 miles from my house.
Wow.
Yeah. So needless to say, my whole neighborhood, many of my neighbors and friends were kind of up in arms. But I can't express how much of a peace of mind that having the security system and the cameras, especially with the night vision, infrared night vision, gave to myself, my wife, and even my 2 little boys who were out of school, and they understood that this crazy stuff was happening in what is typically a very safe area. Like I said, we live in farm country, surrounded by cornfields and acreages and things like that, that all of a sudden turned upside down overnight, more or less. So I just like to express that you may not need it today, you may not need it tomorrow, but the second that something crazy happens, you will be so happy when you have an alarm system, especially one that is equipped with perimeter sensors and motion detectors and those cameras.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty interesting, man. That was a scary time for a lot of people. So that's so cool that, I mean, you were in that area And what were you thinking? What were your neighbors thinking? Were you guys coming together and saying, like, hey, we got to go out and look for this guy? Or the authorities probably said, just, they wanted you to stay at home. But, part of me would be like, nah, I'm going to go creep around a little bit and make sure he's not in my immediate area.
Yeah, so it was definitely a kind of a lockdown mode, right? There was many law enforcement officers, police officers out fully equipped with long rifles, AR-15s, things of that such that you didn't normally see in this area. I think I've seen more police officers in this area in the past week than I have in my entire years living in this area. But yeah, to your point, the neighbors and us, luckily all of my neighbors have purchased the security system from Guardian, so they had an equal feeling of the peace of mind of at least knowing that if something were to happen, if he were to come to their door, bash it down or somehow get in their home, they've got those sensors, they've got the motion detectors, at least something to protect them between them and him and us, right? But yeah, like I said, it was crazy, kind of like lockdown. Many of the roads were shut down, the schools were shut down. And all you could do was sit and wait, or else leave and go to a family member's house, right? And like I said, we had at least enough peace of mind knowing that we were protected by more than just the walls of our home. A little extra layer of protection, right, between the cameras and especially the night vision portion. That's when it really got scary because that's when it was moving a lot. Was at nighttime,
right?
With the infrared sensors, and I have 4 cameras. Well, 3 cameras and a video doorbell, all of which are equipped with the infrared night vision. So we popped the cameras up on our TV screen, and if you have Apple TV or Amazon TV, you can actually download the Alarm.com app on top of the Guardian app. Alarm.com is the maker of the cameras, and you can live stream them up on your TV 24/7, just like you had a big control CCTV system.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And that's what we did for a couple of nights because, like you said, uncertain times, and it was scary, but we had to push through it.
Yeah, and if you just joined us, we're talking with our security expert, Gunnar Braniecki from Guardian Home Protection, and home security and automation is the name of their game, and they're doing it at top levels. And Gunnar, it's interesting you talk about this escaped fugitive in Pennsylvania. Did you see the video? I saw the video how he kind of scaled the wall using his feet, and it's just, to me, it's like, wow, was it that easy? And how, I wonder why another fugitive, or prisoner didn't get out the similar way.
Yeah, it's crazy. I saw it myself, kind of like a mix between Spider-Man and parkour, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are smart, right? I always tell customers and potential customers when I meet with them, just like you and I have a job, a trade, a craft, a profession, and we're always trying to get better at them, these guys are doing the same thing. And, to that point, if you're in prison, all you got to do is figure out how you can get out, whether it's wait your time or find a faster way, which this guy, he found a faster way, right? He's smart.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And they they're resourceful and they're desperate. So that's a couple of, elements that will, sometimes lead to that. When you think about security automation, we want you thinking about Guardian Home Protection. Again, you're supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show, supporting the local economy by doing that. Lots of great reps. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, another, firsthand experience with one of our expert contributors. It was a first-class experience. It was seamless, going in and getting the cameras installed, coming up with the game plan on where to put the cameras, the best way to face the cameras to utilize them. And I love, picking up my smartphone, just taking a quick look through. They have stories. It's kind of funny. You have on the app, you have stories just like you would see now that's very popular on either your Facebook or your Instagram, different, stories where it kind of just scrolls across the top. You have similar with your app. Gunnar, can you talk a little bit about the app and some of the functionality?
Yeah, I mean, you can control anything from the app these days, right? You can set up rules. You can set up scenes. So if you wanted to get home, let's say you got a geofence set up so that your phone and your system knows when you're getting home from work that it'll turn on the front porch light for you. It'll set the thermostat to a certain temperature for you. It'll make it kind of like the Jetsons, right? You get home and it knows what you need done to just kind of speed up your evening so you can get to cooking dinner and get on with the rest of your day and the things that you want to be able to enjoy and be able to walk in that house feeling safe and secure, right? Because when we get home, it always turns on our porch light, and we have one interior light that I have to turn on as well. So when we walk into a lit home, which, again, peace of mind is everything. And you can do all that right through the app these days. And like you said, look at the cameras, set up the rules so it can record at certain times and send you clips of what it sees. You can do just about anything, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's more important now than ever, now more than ever to have that with, different crime levels and different, challenges that you're seeing in government and a lot of the other things that you find in the mainstream media you see about and hear about. So you got to protect your family. Ultimately, it comes down to you protecting yourselves. You can't depend on government. You can't depend on those other outside forces. You got to depend on yourself. So, Gunnar, how do you want people to connect? Where do you want people to go?
Yeah, of course. So we've got a direct line that we know they're calling from your show if they dial 813-738-9409. Also, we'll be at the home show at the St. Petersburg Coliseum on November 4th and 5th at booth number 14 if they want to come look, touch, and feel at some of our cool gadgets and security devices.
Oh, cool. Okay, so let's do the hotline again, 813-738-9409. That will put you in touch with Gunnar Braniecki, Guardian Home Protection, our security expert contributor here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And then they're going to be in St. Petersburg at the home show coming up in November.
You got it.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. All righty. Well, thanks so much. We appreciate you spending some time with us here, Gunnar.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Before we go to break, I wanted to play just one clip here. This was an interesting, because it talks about the first real estate. You ever think about the first real estate transaction? Well, it's kind of interesting because you have Charlie Kirk describing to a congregation. I love how he does these, a lot of times Sunday sermons. He'll go to churches and talk, but he's talking about Marxism and what it must abolish, the three pillars that they go after to abolish, which, again, of course, leads to crime, and it leads to some of these other areas that we talk about on this show. But this one was interesting because he talked about the first real estate transaction. I'll play this quick clip, and then we're going to take it to break.
Marxism must abolish three things, and this is a spiritual war, and I'll prove 1, 2, and 3. Number one, Marxism must destroy religion. It must. In fact, Karl Marx called religion the opiate of the masses. Number two, Marxism must destroy private property. Incredibly important. Do you know the first ever recorded real estate purchase in the history of the world was Abram buying Hebron? Private property is biblical. The idea of owning property comes directly from the Bible. The idea of the tribe or the commune owning everything, that idea has been around for a long time. But the idea that you are a steward of a piece of property, a steward of a certain thing to pass down to future generations, to tithe and offer, these are biblical principles. Marxism wants to destroy and abolish that. And then finally, because Marx said this is the ultimate totalitarian environment, is the family.
Yeah. So they want to go after the religion, private property, and then the family, of course. And that's where you see a lot of these different attacks on the family with all the trans movement and, the other attacks that you're seeing on the family. Everything from, as we talked about in previous shows, where if you look at the traditional male role model in the home, for example, you look at some of the older shows, you had some of the older shows, Leave It to Beaver, those types of shows where you had morals and values, and Mayberry, the show with Mayberry with Barney Fife and the sheriff. You had those shows, and then you slowly evolved into things like The Simpsons or what was the one with Al Bundy, right? Married with Children, Al Bundy. Where dad's the butt of the joke. So you see how they do that through culture and through through TV, etc. So they're attacking the family. And they want to do anything they can to attack any type of traditional institution. So the institution of marriage, for example, is another place that the Marxist will attack. Of course, religion, and of course, private property. Private property and our rights are God-given rights. These are not rights given to us by any government, but they are given to us by our God, and that's first and foremost, that's what they're trying to do. All right, let's take a quick break there. When we come back, we're going to have Fred Muth, a.k.a. the Tin Man, our contractor expert contributor on the program. We're going to talk about all things contracting. If you want to look at building a screen room, we call that the in-between space, between the outdoors and between, of course, the under air-conditioned space in your home. You got that beautiful in-between, that lanai, that patio, and those pool rooms, those screen rooms on your pool. Fred Muth's coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.